Hey everybody, I'm Blue Rikoroo, and this is the story of how one individual took over the entirety of my Discord server, Democratic Anarchy. But before we get into that, I need to talk to you about what Democratic Anarchy actually is. DA is a Discord server that I put a considerable amount of time into creating, and it has a complex bot that facilitates the server's purpose. That purpose being to allow any user to create and vote on changes to the server. And these changes can be wild. You can create a bill to change something as small as editing the description of a text channel to giving a single person essentially admin. And I just let them have at it without any kind of moderation on my end. Now, at first, the server was pretty peaceful. You see, no one had powers yet. People made meme channels and no mods allowed channels, chaos channels. Some people changed the server icon and even gave the bot a Halloween themed profile picture. Anytime someone would make a bill to give themselves power, it was typically shut down by the majority. That was until a member that you might also recall as my editor, Wiley Worp, invited a bunch of his alts.
Oh hey, it's me.
Effectively allowing him to rig any bill by voting on it multiple times, which allowed him to become the first moderator. Now, of course, being the first member with power on a server where there's basically no rules has its drawbacks. Immediately, I believe there was a revolt, while other people also started threatening alt accounts. Then, our main man, Needless Escape, started to show his slow rise to fame. It started with the Snake Suppression Act. A lot of the server turned on a particular member of the community due to his vulgar nature, and the first vote to pass against him was the Snake Suppression Act, which would take Snake Eater out of the server for about a week. The next day, another user tried to give themselves power. They wanted a role that would allow them to create other roles that they could give to people. They did successfully create the role, the bill passed, but they forgot one crucial step. They didn't give it to themselves. So effectively, there was this role with power sitting around not assigned to anybody. Then comes the takeover. Now, before I explain this, I have to tell you how the passing of a bill works. See, by default, a bill has 24 hours to be voted on, and as long as more than 50% of the people that voted on the bill agree at the 24-hour mark, it goes into effect. At some point, somebody changed the time it took a bill to pass, and now people could set it to 10 minutes. And Needless Escape took full advantage of this by creating many short bills that only needed a handful of his disciples or alts to pass. Started with this: a vote to give himself all roles currently on the server, and then promptly overthrew the person with the most power currently. Then, using his alts at a time of day that no one could really fight back, he gave one of the roles he had all the power that he wanted. And then, in a genius move, once he had all this power, he made it so that it would be almost impossible for anyone else to exploit the system in quite the same way. He changed how long it would take for a vote to pass back all the way up to 3 days. This gave him plenty of time to amass his alts against anybody that would attempt to overthrow him. Now, with the server fully under his control, he dictated the server how he saw fit, giving people prison roles and making claims of grandeur while simultaneously banning anyone that even slightly opposed him. The server turned into a cesspool of insensitive topics and various vulgarities, and I was witnessing all this from my owner's account, just silently watching. Eventually, I got bored, nothing was really happening, and so I added a way to vote from outside of the server. So now suddenly all the people that were banned could effectively create bills again. This caused a massive panic, and Needless essentially banned everyone except his alts on the server. And that brings us to how it is today. And so, I am announcing the next version of Democratic Anarchy. The big change is the separation of the active server from the place where you vote. In the vote server, there is one channel to view and vote on bills, and another that always has an invite link to the main server. To curb the amount of alt accounts on the vote server, you now have to have an active email address and a verified phone number on the Discord account. This server is live now, and I'm excited to see how each of y'all interact with it. Links are in the description below. Hope to see y'all there. and have a great day. Bye bye.